everybody. A2TP podcast, episode 54. How are you? How y'all doing? We are here. A2TP podcast 54. It's your boy, International Walk. And
it's your girl, Tosh, the co-hostess with the mostest.
Yes, she is. She's sitting here, y'all, and she's a little perkier than she was last week. Last week, she was propped up like Weekend at Bernie's. This week, she got a little soul in her.
Getting my groove back.
Episode 54, A2TP podcast, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok,
www.a2tpodcast.com.
A2tpodcast.com. So,
Radio Public,
Breaker, Anchor.
Yeah. Now you're repeating.
But
we in there. We everywhere. So, you be there too.
You should be watching somewhere. Wherever you get your podcast, you should be watching somewhere.
And you, excuse me, and you know if you go to www.a2tpodcast.com, some people may not be in an environment where you can watch, like maybe you walking on a treadmill.
We got audio files.
Yep, you can go and listen to just the audio. We thought about y'all.
Yep, we got audio files so you can get. You're in the gym, you're in your car.
You're right, you're driving.
Your boss talking to you, you got one earphone in, your hair over it, you're just listening to us. It's all good. How are you? No!
So dramatic.
How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. I am doing well. I will say today...
We're going to start today with mental...
My mental, I'm an 8.
Mental's an 8?
Yeah, we got a lot going on, some personal business things going on. But I'm positive about it. It's all good things. We're looking forward to sharing, the news with you guys when the time is right. But nevertheless, it's stressful, but I feel positive. So I'm an 8.
Very stressful, but can't help but feel positive. You're an 8.
Yeah.
What's work? Oh,
work is 10.
10. Yeah, she ain't there. We're going to skip that.
Yeah.
Finance.
I'm gonna say finances is a 9. We've worked hard to manage our finances to make sure that we establish good credit, and of course there's always room for improvement and growth, but we've done a good job, and I think we are starting to see the fruits of our labor, and I'm proud of that. So I'm gonna say a 9.
That's cool. So you're 8, 10, 9 this week.
I am. Now, I'm at 8 right now. I'm telling y'all, this whole recovery thing is mental and physical. So, later on tonight, I might lay down and something hurt and I'll be a 6. But right now, I'm an 8. It's messing with me, man. But I'm an 8. I feel good.
Last week, she was Weekend at Bernie's. She was like...
And it was making me feel like, come on, man. Like, I want to be good. Like, I want to feel,
Yeah, but you can't rush it, so slow it down.
Let's do the wave.
No, okay. Slow it the fuck down. Right. Wave recovery.
How are you? Wow. No. How are you?
Mental. Last week I was a 5.
Yeah, where are you?
I was on fumes. I'm like an 8.
That's good. Like that's good. I wasn't expecting it today. I know you've been stressed.
I'm like the rubber band man. I snap back.
Damn, the rubber band man.
So, I'm like an 8 on mental. I mean, my mental is tired. My body is tired.
My body
Can't wait
weary.
to get to the weekend. I don't like saying that no more.
Why?
Because it make you feel like you're dying.
Oh, okay,
like
yeah, well, you're not weary.
Like you're about to wither away.
No, just tired is fine.
Yeah,
just tired is fine.
Extremely tired. I hope it snows tomorrow so that, I hope it snows. We get a snow day. I'm just going to say that. I hope we get a snow day.
Yeah.
Period.
A couple of them will be good. Are you down for a blizzard?
Yeah, I do a blizzard.
But we got some business to handle, though. That's going to stump us.
Well, then
us.
I'll do some snow for the morning.
Yeah.
But,
that would be so good, so you can stay cuddled up with me. That's good. How's work?
Work is a 9. Work is coming along. Work is good. Nary's on the job. When Nary comes, it's all good. So
I love when I hear him having like work calls and stuff. He's so professional. Like it's like, yeah, I know the gangster him and then like the work him. He's just he's not the professional white collar person that, hello, this is Walter. Like he don't put in that white man voice at all.
Which I don't have a white man voice.
Which I respect. But he definitely goes into this mode. And let me just tell y'all real fast. He was talking to this lady the other day, like scheduling something. She was smiling so hard through this phone. I wanted to be like, excuse me. We can't understand your words because all your teeth is showing through the phone. She was smiling so hard. But whatever. Go ahead.
My little white architect from Fishtown.
How's your finances?
Finances is a 9. Talked to some finance people today. They made me happy. So finances is a 9.
So you were 899. Yep. That's good, babe.
Yep. Last week I was a 5. I was running on fumes.
Yeah.
Y'all probably saw that on my face, gassed on my body language. Yeah, just wasn't.
That's good. I'm happy to hear.
Wasn't feeling it. So I'm back. Feeling a little better. Just tired.
That's good.
Real quick, I don't want to go into wows and woes. What do you got? What do you got? What do you got? What's wowing you this week? What's woeing you this week?
You know what? I'm gonna say this. I don't have a woe for this week. I had a birthday this week. I turned 41 years old. That is my wow. I am grateful for another year of life. And I will say this. Last year when I turned 40 was the best birthday of my life. I got a chance to, we went to Puerto Rico. My first birthday, being able to celebrate in the sunshine. We've always did stuff for my birthday and had fun, but that was my first beach birthday, having a birthday in January. This year, completely opposite. You know, we didn't get dressed up and do anything fancy. My baby bought us some dinner from the pizza shop, you know, and it was just a moment of reflection. And it was a reminder to me that God is in control and everything happens for a reason. If I let it for a small bit, you know, it got to me for like a half second, not because we weren't doing anything big, but it was like, I'm a birthday person. I make a big deal out of everybody's birthday. But it was like, you know what? It's okay. I'm just grateful to have another birthday because so many people didn't. So that was my wow for me. Just grateful, extremely grateful. No woes.
No woes. Okay. So we skipped the woes on you. My wow is that you had a birthday this week and we was able to celebrate. We are in the midst of doing something personal, so we're not really doing much. And at least I wanted to, get you a cake and some flowers. And you've been saying you wanted some ice cream, and so we had cake and ice cream, and celebrated your 41st. Still wanted you to know I see you, and I love you, and get you some cake and ice cream.
And it was a great day. I was happy, you know.
And I've never broken a promise to you, and I promise, once we get situated, once we get straight, once you healthy, we're gonna be somewhere nice.
Looking forward to it.
Chilling.
We'll give y'all an episode from the destination.
That's going to be a week because I need it.
What's your woe?
Woe is the cold weather. It's getting to my bones. I think I got it in my back. I think I got it in my shoulder. Cold weather. I'd rather be cold than hot. Like, I'd rather be cold than 109 degrees or stifling fucking heat at 6 in the morning where you can't breathe. I'd rather be cold. But god damn, it's cold. God damn, it's cold. It's cold.
See, I can say, maybe I'm a little spoiled because first of all, working from home now, when it's 110 degrees, I don't feel it if I don't want to. Thank God we have air. But even when I was going to the office, leaving the house, going to the car, going to the office, back to the car, back home, I really wasn't in the heat like that. I will tell you, I would rather it be 110 than be 40. Any day. Like, I don't like the cold.
I take 40 any day over 110. I can't take 11. Fucking feel like 9. Like, that's the shit I can't take no more.
Nah, I'm good on the cold.
And I don't want to stay on this too long because we've worn it out. It's just bad. But today we heard it's a mandate for all state workers to get vaxxed and boosted. It's what state is calling fully vaccinated, having a vax and a booster. Do you think that's going to come to us little people?
So that's in the state of New Jersey. Do we know if it's all state workers?
No, just our state right now.
Okay.
But I mean, we're next to Pennsylvania, so I could imagine both governors wanting to do the same thing for state workers anyway, because they've allowed them to have a time, then push it, have a time, then push it, have a time, then push it. Now it's like people are getting fired. Who do we hear getting fired?
I don't know anybody personally.
No, the company I just told you was
Oh,
firing.
Nike.
Nike was firing people January 15th.
That passed, yeah.
Yeah, that passed. And I think they moved it from January the 10th. So they gave an extra week and fired a whole lot of people.
This is what I'm taking this from something that I saw
But
somebody
we know a
else
CO,
post.
a correctional officer, and he said it's stipulation now that state workers got, some people who work jobs like him mandate.
Right. So you can get COVID and still come to work and potentially put people in danger and keep your job, but if you don't get a vaccination but you're healthy, then you can be fired from your job, but you're not really putting anybody in danger if you're not sick. It just bothers me internally because I feel like it's just so weird that this is being mandated and pushed so hard.
Mm-hmm.
It makes I understand why people are skeptical. I do. What do I think is going to come? Yeah, I think it's going to really. I think it's going to continue to trickle down, and I really don't know how I feel like that. How I feel about that, because I don't think that I want to. No, I know that I don't want to get any boosters or anything like that. I know people out there have been sick. I know people have lost some loved ones. We have managed to not be sick throughout this, since March 2020. We have not contracted COVID at all, despite knowing so many family members and friends that have. I thank God for that. We are vaccinated. I didn't really want to be, but I felt like, maybe it was I really am not sure. Like, I still am not sure, but we did it. I know that I don't want to get a booster. I don't know if my job is going to decide they want to require it, but I know that I don't want to. And that's the hard part. It's like really, it's putting people in a difficult situation, because now I have to make decisions about my health to keep a job.
Yeah, and I think in the beginning, with not that much information and feeling like, okay, me getting vaccinated is going to help me not get COVID in a sense until you get real information about it, but you kind of felt protected. Then you see people with a vax and a booster getting COVID. You see people with a vax and a booster dying. Like, it's almost like the shit.
Why do you want me to have this so bad?
Why you keep wanting to put stuff in me if it don't work? And to me, the flu shot, they call it a shot, but it's really a vaccine. But they change it every year because the flu changes every year. But to my knowledge, a vaccine is one and done. Like chicken pox, like measles, like polio, like any of that stuff. You got shot.
Like tetanus, you get like every 7 years
10
or something.
years, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but like measles, mumps, rubella, you got that when you was a kid. You don't have to get that again.
Polio, again in life.
We didn't even have to get it because it was eradicated with our parents' generation. They got it once. They didn't have to keep getting it. And that's what I just don't understand. We're getting, to me, this is more evidence, I think, as to why the first round of shots, it was too early. You're already giving a booster, and it's only a year later.
Well, they got 3 boosters already.
So that goes to show maybe it wasn't fully developed and y'all were giving it too soon, because it is continuing to mutate into different strains. So how far are we going to go with this? Are we going to just be getting injected? And then there's no way that you can tell me that this is not going to have some, maybe not to everybody, but this isn't going to have some negative implications for some people. You continue to put these chemicals in people's body. Like, it makes me so uncomfortable, because I feel like it's going back to the story. It's like The View and Kamala Harris coming on there, and they just blatantly did what do you call it? A whim wham?
Yeah, flim flam.
A flim flam in our face to like we're stupid. Like, oh, all of a sudden we know these people gonna ask her about Haiti, so let's give them a false positive COVID test to get them off the stage. Like, how obvious was it that was a ploy? But I feel like just like the government did that and just thought, we just gonna say the story, y'all gonna take it and believe it. They're doing the same thing with this. It's one of them things where people think you're stupid and they're trying to make you do something, and almost for some people you don't have a choice, because do you lose your job and not be able to take care of your family?
If it messes with your livelihood, then I think it's a decision you have to make. if it's something that scares you and puts you on edge about COVID, or you have underlying issues, overweight, obese, like I think you should have a decision to make. But it just goes to show now, the Trump supporters, a lot of black folks was right. Like, why y'all trying to give us vaccines? Why y'all trying to give us vaccines? And it's like, that's not the one. They're on like the sixth one now. And all these boosters, like, if you got a vax, then 6 months later you ought to boost it because it's not really working and we don't consider it you being fully vaccinated. So here's a booster instead. And what's in the booster? Is it more of the vaccine?
And again, I feel like, okay, these vaccines, as we know, are free. Like, they're being done free. But we also know that nobody's really doing anything for free. So Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, the people, and that's
in the contracts with the government.
Right. Those are people just in the U.S. There's other vaccines in other countries. I think in the U.K., AstraZeneca has one. So there's other pharmaceutical companies that have other vaccines in other countries. They're free. Citizens aren't being asked to pay for this, but please believe the government is paying for this.
Hell yeah.
And so it makes me feel like, last episode we talked about war on drugs and the opioid epidemic and how there was a lot of backlash with the pharmaceutical company, and there were a lot of changes that were made, which I believe negatively impacted the financial status of some of these pharmaceutical companies. So it just makes me think, is this the get back? Or now is the government like, okay, well, we had to cut back and stop y'all and, apply sanctions or whatever because of so many overdoses and things like that, and just all of the attention that the opioid epidemic received. But now is it y'all finding a back door to replenish these people's pockets? I don't know. It's just all fishy. And the sad part is, if the government didn't have such a bad reputation of doing fishy stuff,
right,
people wouldn't be as skeptical. It makes me crazy because you really don't know what to believe. You don't believe them, but you think like the government is really trying to, like, what is the end game? Why are y'all trying to do this to us?
So again, vax or no vax, it seems like now a lot of people was right. We're vaxxed. I don't know who's vaxxed out there. I don't know who's boosted out there, but make your own decision again. If you feel like you got issues, if you feel like you got older people in your family, you feel like you want to get vaxxed, get vaxxed. You don't.
One thing that I will say, and again, this is regardless if you choose to get vaxxed or not, when people say, oh, I had COVID, it's just mild symptoms. It was just like a cold. It wasn't even that bad. People forget, just because that was how the symptoms evolved within your immune system, the person that you may, oh, baby, sleepy.
No, I'm good.
The person that you may infect, knowingly or unknowingly, maybe you got family members and you like, I got COVID, but I'm fine, girl. You don't know how that's going to transpire in that person's immune system.
Yeah, it's a respiratory illness.
Yeah, so just because it was mild or it really wasn't much for you, which thank God it wasn't, if that was your experience, you have no idea how that's going to impact the next person. So people have to stop being so cavalier. I don't care if you believe in the vaccination or not, what you want to do or not, but it is real.
Yeah, believe in the disease, and it affects people different. It's a respiratory infection, so everybody is going to react differently. I mean, you're going to have some group of people that get mild symptoms, heightened symptoms. Stephen A. Smith just said he got COVID, it damn near killed him.
Yeah.
Like, D.L. Hughley said the same thing. Like, it almost made him kill himself because of long COVID, which you get after COVID. That thing you call
lingering side effects.
The lingering side effects. So you don't know how it's going to affect your breathing, your laboring. You don't know anything like that. So why take the chance?
Yeah, and you got to think about.
And it don't mean go get vaxxed. It just mean be careful and don't take a chance with it. Don't think. You could be around people with the sniffles or colds or shake hand or not wear masks and shit like that, and then you pop up with COVID.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
Just stay safe, y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy. To whatever you choose to do to be healthy. Not, advocating for vaccinations. Whatever it is that you choose to do something to stay healthy. Don't just be out here free balling it, just like it ain't out, like COVID ain't out here ready to jump on you. Because again, it may jump on you and you got a little sniffle when you good, but you take it to a coworker, you take it to the supermarket, anything. And
not only that, you take it to a loved one. You take it to your grandmother or your son or your daughter, and they die or be severely hospitalized, but you fine. You're going to feel some type of way. You're going to feel some type of way. So just be careful out there. Get off the goddamn COVID. The murders, not the murders, but the violence in Philadelphia. It's January 19th, 18th.
It's the 3rd week of January.
It's the 3rd week of it's the 3rd week of January, and it is 36 people dead.
Yeah.
In 2018, it was 8 at the same time. So in 20 and 19, it was 20 and 26. And this year it's 34. I said 36.
Yeah, 36.
36 people dead, and it's not even 36 days past. Also, to touch on this huge carjacking boom in Philly that is like running rampant, and it's not even today. Yesterday a guy was shot.
This week, yeah.
This week what?
The guy was, yeah.
This week?
Yeah.
No, he was shot today.
I'm saying this week he was shot.
Okay,
yeah.
This week he was shot, carjacking somebody, and he was 52 years old.
Wait. The carjacker was 52?
Yeah. Like, what the fuck is going on out there where it's a 52-year-old man trying to carjack somebody and ended up carjacking somebody who had a license to carry and killed his ass, shot him, went to the hospital and died. But the other day, it was like a grown woman and 2 juveniles trying to carjack somebody in Bloomingdale's. Yeah. The whole bump of your car. Be careful out there. They trying to bump your car from the back, like a little accident. And as soon as you get out, big guns in your face, car gone, and you left standing there, and you got nothing.
But there was a scenario a couple weeks ago, like you explained. It was a Lyft driver, Uber driver. They bumped him. He got out. They let him get his passenger out. Pop, pop, pop 2 in his own car window as the guy was driving off, and then pop, pop, pop 2 in the car that bumped him. And I'm not advocating for anybody to be killed, but when you approach somebody to commit an act of violence against them, you have no idea who you are approaching. So what you get.
Yeah, I'm advocating that because if you shouldn't be carjacking people. Like,
you don't know who you're messing with out here.
People getting shot, like you killing people for cars, like they fucking cars, and you gonna kill somebody for them? Like, nah.
No, it's the carjackers getting killed. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I'm just saying some carjackers are shooting people too over cars. Like, you gonna get the car? Ain't no sense in killing somebody.
It's just the violence itself. I mean, the murders is one thing. We know that has received so much attention just because of the high, unprecedented numbers. But just the violence in general, it's absolutely insane. And one of the dumbest things that I've heard people say is, just because you move out of Philly, it don't mean it's not violence everywhere. That's absolutely true. Or they might say, just because you move out of Philly. You're so silly. But it's true. There is violence everywhere. But when you talk about the sheer numbers and the probability of being a victim, it drastically changes when you move out of high crime areas. Yeah. So I'm not saying everybody flee Philadelphia because we know that's really not feasible. But I am saying if you have the ability to do so, if you have the resources, to protect your children, to just want a better life. Like, it just blows my mind. And I get some people say, we can't leave our neighborhoods to the criminals. At what price are you willing to pay to save the neighborhood? Because at some point, the government and other people in charge have to come in to help you. Because as a citizen, as a neighborhood watch, as a concerned person in society, that's all well and good, and you should be concerned, but you have to protect yourself.
Yes, you do. It's a lot of things the criminals are saying we can't do now. You can't go to school, get shot. Can't stand on the bus stop, you get shot. Can't drive your car, you get shot.
They shot up the
Ice
movie
cream
theater.
truck gets shot up. Movie theater gets shot up. Can't go to the corner store, get shot up. Skating rink gets shot up. Buses get shot up. Like they're trying to tell us like you're like a prisoner in your own home. And a person at work was just telling me this. He told his wife that they live in the Badlands and have for years, and he was just like, I feel like we're a prisoner in our own home. Like you gotta encourage to get like if like it's like you said, if you have resources, if you have a way out, get out because Philadelphia is just crazy.
And I love Philly.
Yeah.
I do. I love Philadelphia. Being from Philadelphia, I take pride in saying that I'm from Philadelphia. And it saddens me that I don't feel comfortable like being in like I don't really like to be chilling in the hood. Like hell no.
It's so bad that a Temple student was killed in November in a carjacking. An off-duty cop was nearly shot and killed, carjacked shortly after his shift ended. An off-duty fucking cop. U.S. Representative Mary Gay Scallion, who represents Philadelphia and Delaware County, was carjacked recently. Like,
y'all carjacking the politicians.
Yeah, like crazy.
You know, but it's sad to say, not, and I don't mean to joke, but like the Temple student, the politician, it's so sad, but it's gonna take for those people to be affected by the things that people in the hood that we know is going on in order for there to be some real change, in order for the government to really effectuate some change in policy and procedures. Because unfortunately, when it's happening to us, they think we're used to it, and they think that, oh, it's just another crime happening to another supposed criminal because, you know, they look at all of us as criminals. But when it starts happening to the others, then it's like, oh, clutch my pearls. Now we have to do something about it.
It's going to be the white kids that come down from the burbs to buy drugs in their parents' car or their nice car, and they're going to get carjacked, and then that's when the shit's going to hit the fan. Just like you said, it's going to be the others. It's going to be the white kids that come down and get fucked with, and their car is going to get stolen. And that's when the shit's going to be like, okay, this carjacking shit's got to stop. Or a white kid gets shot down in Kingston and die, and now it's national news, and it's like, okay, we got to do something about this carjacking shit.
Mm-hmm.
But crimes are happening in Philly. Cops are showing up afterwards. Like, there's no, like, you can't intervene. Like, you can't show up beforehand or just be in the area. Like, crimes are happening. People are getting murdered. People get shot at baby showers back a few months ago, and cops come after that. Like,
What you mean cops come after that?
Cops come at like there's a lot of crime happening, a lot of bodies on the street, and cops show up after the shit happens. Like they're not around patrolling areas like they should be to try to intervene in crime. And it seems like a lot of time they just dare to pick the body up.
Well, I mean, okay, excluding the girl who got shot after her baby shower, that was like an isolated incident. I don't even think they even solved that crime, but it was like her
just the other day locked up one of the guys, so they still investigating that crime. Yeah, dude,
that's good to hear.
So yeah.
But, however, I will say, considering the other crimes and stuff that are happening, we see in those high crime areas. You know what I told you before that I think should be done. Some people may not agree, but I remember back in like 2002 when they had Operation Safe Streets, and that was geared towards stopping drug dealing,
dropping vans of people,
and
off.
It was cops everywhere. I'm talking about, like the cops were being dropped off like PPA, and like this your post for the day. Yep. And I really think
walk around and then meet back here at 6 o'clock when you get off and we'll pick you up.
I really think that is what is going to be required, because I don't want to give the cops a bad rap. Because guess what? If I was a cop right now, I would be trying to find a different career, I think. Who wants to keep showing up to, I mean, and these people are disrespectful. They'll shoot at the cops. Who wants, I mean, it's your job. You signed up for, but I don't think
you signed up for the disrespect and the disregard of authority. You think you put the uniform on, you have some sense of authority to correct the situation. You show up and people are like, fuck you even harder and your authority.
I don't know how that, I don't know too much about the bureaucratic red tape behind all the things that go on with the commissioner and all that, and how people feel about her. I don't really have any insight on that, but I couldn't imagine being in a position where you are tasked with fixing something, and not only are you not fixing it, it is getting drastically worse. And I can't believe, or maybe this is naivety on my part, that people are just sitting with their hands folded, not trying to fix it, but to see that whatever efforts you're making are not fruitful at all, that has to be so like, just imagine you going to work and like you are tasked with
you're failing
building 5 walls today, and not only did you not build these 5, 3 more fell, so now tomorrow you got to build 8, and then the roof fell, so then the next day you got to build 8 plus. It's like you're going backwards. You're not making any progress. I can't imagine what that feels like.
She just was on the news the other day saying that they had a plan in place since November and it's getting better. We just don't see it. It seems like to us it's getting worse, but it's getting better. Like, I don't, it's like, what was the commissioner that they ran out of here that was,
Charles Ramsey?
Or was it Sylvester Johnson?
Sylvester Johnson was the dark-skinned black man, and
he had to deal with the Broadster brothers, because remember that shit was all over the news, and he kept calling them like he kept calling them something, super predators or some shit like that, or the worst guys in the city. But it's almost like she been hired and nothing, like you said, it's gotten worse and nothing's gotten better. Nothing's gotten better.
And I mean, again, I can't imagine that she's
the eye test. I mean, the city has gotten worse since she got hired. And I'm not saying it's her fault, but maybe your curriculum and then I know it's COVID that's running through the police department. It's hundreds of cops not on the street.
Right.
So that plays a part in it. But, I mean...
that's what I'm saying. I can't imagine that she's not trying. I don't know. But first of all, you think about what was given to her. But yeah, to your point, it's continued to deteriorate. I pray that there's some change that happens this year. And then, we found out too, which it makes me wonder, because of COVID and staffing shortages when it comes to COs and that sort of thing, prisons have been releasing people. So it makes me think,
if you're under a year, got 8 months to go or something, they'll release you. And another thing though, they're not handling it either, because who we talked to had a get together and got the inmates infected. It's like, what the hell is
but
that?
I mean, outside, I'm just talking about like the fact of releasing these people. When you think about what stipulations are being used are you releasing a guy that just had a simple gun charge, like not a murder or anything, but just a simple gun charge? You releasing him and he back out here doing the same stuff? I don't know what stipulations
it would be misdemeanors first, and then you could clear off the books, then get a couple hundred people out just by misdemeanors like drug charges, weed. I'm sure, of course, first, some domestic cases, simple assaults, things like that. I don't think first you go to gun charges and robberies and murders.
I mean, I'm sure not the murderers and rapists.
Because those people, I mean, and even if you talk about a murderer, he done his time and he under a year, and if he can get out, then okay, it's COVID, he can get out. But he might have done 20 years.
But so that also makes me think, in terms of new cases, just think about the possible trickle-down effect. If you have you already know there's a shortage and you already releasing people, then you got new people with new gun charges or something. Maybe they're not being sentenced. They're given house arrest or probation or however that works. I don't even know if jail time is the solution. I don't want to fake and act like I got the answer either. I just know that somebody needs to come up with some answers.
Yeah, and I'm not sitting here saying there should be no jail, because there's certainly some people in jail. But how do you curve COVID in jail with the whole 6 feet thing, with the whole stacking people on top of people? Like, that seems like a place where out here in the world, we're trying to separate people and create social distance. But in there, you can't. So places like that will just always run rampant with COVID. It only takes one person to walk in a place like that.
And it's coming from staff probably bringing it
because
in.
They can't come out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's a tricky thing where that big C word has impacted so many facets of our society.
Mm-hmm. You got a beef?
You know what? I got a funny beef, right? This ain't no heavy beef.
Your host's in pain here. That's why y'all see me.
I know, my baby's shoulder.
Like, God damn.
Yeah. Let me tell you what my beef is, right? And I want y'all feedback on this. Let me know what y'all think. I don't like how some of y'all don't know how to eat. And no, listen, follow me, right?
So people got to eat like you eat?
No, listen, follow me. There is a certain order of food that you should eat, or like, meals should be served. There should be a meat or protein. If you don't eat meat, a protein, a starch, and a vegetable.
I agree.
When you start eating meals, I seen somebody selling dinners, right? And this is what the food, and everything looked good, but I was like mind blown. Like, this don't go. Why are you serving this to people? It was barbecue chicken, macaroni and cheese, and mashed potatoes. Who eats that?
What's wrong with that?
Macaroni and cheese and mashed potatoes?
Oh, no, that's not bad. I was thinking about the chicken.
This was one platter. It was barbecue chicken in the middle, macaroni and it was like, you know how people serve platters in like one of them tins where you crinkle down the side? In this tin, they put mashed potatoes over here, they put macaroni and cheese over here, and they put barbecue chicken in the middle. Who eats like that? Why don't y'all know how to eat? That's not a meal. Like, you can't, that's like eating rice and stuffing. That don't go together. Where's your vegetable? Who eats mashed potatoes and macaroni and cheese? Like, that is not that's it don't even go. The taste of mashed potatoes in your mouth and macaroni and cheese at the same time, that's mush. Why would you want to eat that? That's my beef. Learn how to eat. Learn how to plate a meal that don't go. That's
so
my
all
beef.
y'all out there eating macaroni and cheese, mashed potatoes, and barbecue chicken?
One or the other. Do the mashed potatoes and the barbecue chicken with a veggie, some broccoli maybe. Do the barbecue chicken and the macaroni and cheese with some greens or some string beans. You don't eat macaroni and mashed potatoes. It don't go. It don't go.
I'm not as serious as her, but I agree with her. It don't go.
This meal bothered me so bad.
It don't bother me like that. She home from work and she ain't got nothing to do.
I was so mad at this lady. Like, why would you serve that to people? And why would people buy it? Like, why would
you might want a little tater with your macaroni. I wouldn't.
Mush mouth. That's a mush mouth platter.
People who eat macaroni and cheese, y'all sideways anyway.
He's crazy. I love macaroni and cheese.
Y'all sideways.
What's your beef?
I don't have no beef.
Aw.
Yeah, I don't have no beef with nobody. I ain't got no beef.
That's good.
I'm good.
Because your heart filled with love.
Everybody's solid. I ain't got no beef. My shoulder hurt. That's the beef I got. But that's it.
That's good. 3 grams. What we got, Daddy?
Jigga Man Hove asking lawmakers to sign a bill to stop using rap lyrics in court, a la Casanova, a la Tekashi 6ix9ine, a la, I'm gonna bust it down, kill a motherfucker. Then they play that shit in court, lock you up for it.
Yeah, because that's like saying, if Denzel said a line in a movie and then you hold that against him. Like, I get it.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
And then, if Denzel had a domestic violence charge, they'll play
I'm putting cases on all you bitches. Pelican Bay, 23-1 lockdown.
Okay. I agree. But see, this is what the problem is. It's that cultural divide.
Shoe program. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, finish.
Go ahead.
It's that cultural divide where you got these white prosecutors who aren't in touch with the hip hop culture, who thinks, because you rapped it, you meant it.
Yeah.
Like, this is what you said. This is what you meant.
Like you really did kill 16 motherfuckers. I got all the choppers. And she just... Y'all see what just happened? She just told me I was being a bit much. She got all the choppers. She never chopped nothing. That just threw me way off. What was you saying?
You want me to give you 16 bars?
No, what was you saying?
I was saying the
16 bars.
The cultural divide of prosecutors thinking just because you rapped it, you meant it, because they don't understand hip hop.
They really think that you killed 16 people in a 3-minute song.
Now, from those people who say don't rap about it, you faking if you say this stuff and you didn't really do it. But we know everybody didn't do everything that they say. You say you bust down 16 chicks and then you busting down 16 hits because you try. It's like, no. I'm not gonna rap for y'all.
And watch an hour later, she'd be like, my stomach hurt. I shouldn't have rapped.
But no, okay, all seriousness, I think that's the problem. And Jay-Z is right. Now, we also need to hold some accountability for rappers and just people in society, period, about the image that you put out to the world, because these are the things that could happen. It comes back on you, and now you have to defend your reputation, because this is the presentation of yourself that you wanted the world to believe.
Right.
And now when you're accused of something, you're like, no, don't believe it. Don't believe it.
Or you let the record label push that narrative, and now some shit went down, and you're like, whoa, that's not me, but perception is reality. It looks like it is you because you let that narrative play out.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting point that he presents.
But I don't think you should not be able to take a person's art, their creativity,
right,
and use it in court about something real, like real life shit.
Exactly. If I write a book,
you're talking about a person's life, and then you're talking about something that they made up, like they made this song up, like thought about it and made it up,
right?
And you're applying that to something that they did in real life, that you're going to, get put in jail for 50 years for. That's not. And
I got to defend myself against art. That's a great point.
That's
but
not cool.
It's the cultural divide that creates that friction, and it leaves them ignorant, because so many people don't understand rap. That's why it was labeled gangster rap, and it has such a negative connotation.
Mm-hmm. Second gram, Cardi B is covering the funeral costs for the Bronx fire victims. I think that's dope. I think that's shout out to Cardi. Thoughts?
I love to hear it. I love to see it. It's one of those things that, and I'm not taking away any shine from her. I wish sometimes when people do stuff like that, like the world doesn't need to know. But then again, at the same time, even she may not have told the world. It'll come out anyway. God knows her heart. So I don't want to judge her for that. I think it's a beautiful thing. To those whom much is given, much is required.
And it makes me want to go back to Jay. Like, how many things have we heard over the years that you didn't even know about, that later on you found out, like, damn, Jay was behind that. Like, he did that too. He did that too. And so many things you're like, damn, I would never expect him to be behind that, or I would never expect him to give to that.
Right, that we've heard about have been like,
and you don't hear about it until a few years later. It's not like in the moment stuff.
Yeah, but I think because this was such a publicized, horrible situation, that's why, it's known. We know how hard she reps for the Bronx, so to hear her give back to her community. One of the things I will also say, we heard about money being donated from Fat Joe, and other celebrities of the like, because the funeral cost is the first step. You got so many people who were displaced, and then they'll need not only just homes, they'll need clothes, they'll need mental health services. So that's awesome of her to do that.
Yep. Shout out to Cardi, shout out to Jay. I wish we was in a position to do something like that. In our later years, that would be dope. But pick up funeral car. I want to hope not 19 people would die.
Right.
But
not necessarily pick up funeral costs, but to help people in need.
Yeah, especially in that kind of situation. This was crazy. A 24-year-old UCLA graduate worked in a luxury furniture store. Had a customer come in named Sean Lavelle Smith. She texted her friend. That dude gave her a bad vibe. Moments later, she was stabbed to death on the floor, dead, in the furniture store.
Wow.
And she had just texted her friend, this dude gave me a bad vibe, and mort de death.
Yeah, it's one of them situations where you said she worked in a luxury furniture store. Mm-hmm. It made me think about, this is very weird, that because one establishment has nothing to do with the other. Two things. One, when you talked about going to Wawa in the hood and how it was a security guard there, I don't know about where y'all live. Where we live, Wawa don't have security guards. And he was saying how weird it is. Like, they got a guard in Wawa. And I'm like, babe, well, it's a different environment. So, yeah, like, I understand I'm having a guard. And then it also made me think about back when I was younger. I was 19. I used to work in a bank. And this bank had, it was actually United Bank in Philadelphia, the first black-owned bank in Philadelphia, I think it was. depending on the branch I was working at, there was a guard when I worked. And I'm sorry, all branches had a guard. I shouldn't say that, but the security was different in city branches, meaning I could be standing up at a desk like this, like the desk was waist high. There was no glass, so if somebody wanted to reach over and grab me by my neck and or put a gun to my face, there wasn't that glass that you saw when I worked at Broad and Oxford. So it makes me think about society and how when it comes to because it was a luxury furniture store, not wanting to have that eyesore of, oh, there's security. Why is there security here? Unfortunately,
I know. What, are you gonna steal a couch?
exactly, but unfortunately, danger, crime can happen anywhere.
Yep.
So it makes you think: do you protect your reputation or the look of things by not having a guard because you don't want it to look like, oh, what is this, an unsafe place? But then putting your employees in danger.
That brought something to my head just now. It made me think about something. As human beings on this earth, we're all dependent on each other to be safe. Because all it takes is one person to go fucking crazy in the supermarket. All it takes is one jackass to shoot up a school. All it takes is one person to walk out their house and start shooting. Or you in a crowded mall. You don't know who got mental issues, who gonna go crazy, who gonna grab a knife and stab somebody. And it just made me think, like, we're all, no matter where we are, hoping that don't nobody try to harm me. Like, I hope you safe. I hope I'm safe. Like, we just depending on each other to be safe, and that just made me think about that.
Makes one of the things I was thinking. Because it just
takes one person to go fucking berserk and kill 12 people, and it's like,
damn,
know. I came out to run to the store to get milk. I didn't know you was having mental issues and was gonna shoot the fucking store up.
Yeah,
like that's crazy.
And it makes me think: how could they have? What could they have done differently? Maybe there needs to be a rule where, like, there's always 2 employees at any establishment. Then you got to think, how does that impact the establishment? Can every place afford to have 2 employees, depending on what your business?
2 dead girls instead of 1. You got to think about that too.
That's true. Or do you? That's one way to look at it. Or is the person less are they a little hesitant to do anything because there's a potential witness, or because they might not be able to get both
of them.
So I mean, I don't know, it's very sad. I didn't see that story, but how old was she?
24.
Yeah. Condolences to her and her family. It's just an unfortunate situation. And the sad,
her name was Brianna Kupfer.
The good part, but also sad part, is that her intuition. We have that intuition. Mm-hmm. She knew something wasn't right. She knew, and her intuition told her, but maybe it just was too late, or she couldn't do anything about it. Maybe her flight, I don't know. Because I think to myself, if I was in a situation, what would I do? Do I go outside and stand outside because I feel weird? Do you think, am I going to
What do you think when you're around danger? Do you think get away from it if possible? Like, what's your, when you think back and you've been in dangerous situations, what do you mainly stick on? Your fight, your flight, or your freeze? Like, have you done all 3? Or are you prone to just, when danger comes, I'm the fuck out? Or like you told me, you was in a situation where you was at a after hour spot when you was young and they started shooting. And when you got done telling me the story, it wasn't like you got away from the danger. It was almost like you froze and was just like, I just want to be safe now and get away from this. But it's not like you ran. Like, I hear the shots and I'm going this way. I'm the fuck out. I don't care what's going on. That's the whole flight thing.
Well, part of that was I didn't know where the shots were coming from. Also, and this might be some movie stuff, I'm thinking if I'm running, they shooting, I get shot in my back because I don't really know which way they shooting, or are they shooting both ways? So yeah, in my mind, it was immediately protection
just
of myself.
Get down.
Yeah. But if I'm in a situation, I think there's, and thank God I've never, wow, that took me back to a moment. Yeah. Yeah. It never put me, I will say this. Wow, you took me to a moment.
Safe now,
yeah, I know.
Safe,
but I thought to myself,
I tear this motherfucker down.
as when I was younger, being put in the unsafe situation, flight was the first. Well, freeze and then flight was the first thing that I thought of. I didn't think of fighting.
Well,
I
you
don't
can't
know.
say freeze and then flight is the first thing, because
Well, no.
freeze was the first
Well,
thing.
freeze was the first thing, and then flight was
Right.
the second thing. As I got older, I always used to think to myself, like if I felt uneasy, like sizing a person up or sizing up my surroundings, like, okay, is there a stick? Is there a brick? Is there a knife? Is there a bottle that I can break to stab somebody if something was to happen to me? So I think, how can I protect myself if I have to fight in a situation? Or if I feel like, or this person might have a gun or something, let me position myself to get the hell out of here.
Mm-hmm.
So those have been, and again, as an adult, I've never had to, be in a situation like that. But those are the two thought processes that I have: is how can I fight in this situation to protect myself? And then where's the nearest exit? I kind of have this thing where I size up everywhere. Like when I go in, like, how can I get out if I need to get out? I do. Like, I'm going in, but how
What,
easy?
like restaurants if we go in?
Yeah, like we're like, okay.
See, this is the thing that I have. Like, men do shit like that. Like, if you come from a certain background, but like women, like you guys are like prey. Like y'all walk around, not saying scared, but with this, like just inner clock, just knowing that somebody can take advantage of me. Like I'm a female, I'm a woman. Any man can overpower me, or somebody can do something to me. And it's like men don't have to necessarily walk around like that. Like you can be wired like that if you come from the streets, and you can go in places and be like, I can't sit next to the door, my back, I gotta see shit. Like everybody, a lot of men are like that. But women walk around with this heightened sense of
yeah, like
fear.
I wish you would, but let me make sure. We talked about the elevator situation. I'm never getting in an elevator and allowing a man to stand behind me. I always need to be either my back on the side and then I like even my stance, like I need to be ready, like if something happened. Yeah, like I don't want to.
Women out there, if y'all go to get on the elevator and you rushing to get somewhere, and you hit the elevator button and you open it and it's just a dude on there, one dude, big guy, are you getting on or not? Put it in the comments.
Yeah, I might. Depending on the situation, I might not get on. Depending on how big he is, how crazy he looks, because there are situations
if it's
where
me, if you open the elevator and it's me, my size dude like me, a little bit of dreads, and it's me, and I'm standing there just in the corner. Are you getting on, or are you like, I'll wait for the next one?
And the sad part about it is women can be naive and judge somebody by, let's say, you dress, you look nice, you smelling good, your hair freshly, you got a fresh shape up, locks freshly twisted. A woman will feel less threatened by you because you look like you put together. But if y'all see, and I'm not saying this to be facetious at all, you watch Lifetime movies and stuff, sometimes the killers and the rapists, they put on their best look so that, because everybody's going to be afraid of the creepy, dirty looking guy, they put on their best look so that you don't feel intimidated, and that's when you get got.
Like your boy.
I'm looking at
like Darren Sharper.
Exactly. I'm looking
nice
at somebody like, how big is he? Like, do I feel like, or if he tried to grab me, could I get away? Now, or I'll wait for the next one. You can go, because if it's not like that serious of a situation, and I'm letting people know, like, if I do get on, I'm sizing you up. Like,
and see, that's the thing. Men will never come to an elevator, push a button, open it, see two guys on there, and be like, nah, I'll wait for the next one. And that's just something that like women have to just carry and watch over themselves all the time. And that's just not the plight of a man.
It is a little bit stressful. You know what I do sometimes to test myself, and this is probably
Do you feel the same if it was a big, like homosexual girl?
No, I don't feel. I don't. I've never felt unsafe or unsure, or like I had to protect myself against a woman. Like, I'm gonna punch you in your titties, you got I'm gonna kick you between your legs. You got a crotch like me, sis. I don't care what you strap on that night, but I know what you was born with. So we're gonna tussle if we need to tussle. I've never felt that kind of intimidation or fear like I would have to,
It's
like
crazy
I
though.
would
Like
with a
you
man.
don't feel that way with a female, but again, elevator door opens, you're like, yeah, I'll take the next one because you just look like you might could do something to me.
Yeah,
And the fact that you check your inner fear like that, like I should probably take the next one because I can't take this chance. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't get
yeah.
on this elevator knowing I have this intuition and think that I could fight my way out of this.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I don't like live in fear. First of all, it ain't like I'm on elevators every day or anything. But it's not like I live in this daily fear because at some point you got to think to yourself, anybody. I don't care if it is Susie Homemaker, that has on the pink lipstick with the tulle dress. Like she could be the biggest meth user that got a big gun in her bag that's about to put it to your side as soon as the door closed. So anybody can really do anything to you. I mean, that's just facts. But I think at some point you just kind of use your intuition. Like, do it feel good? Like, should I be in this situation? Is this elevator big enough for me to like get away? Like, it's
That's
just
why I threw the caveat in there. Like, say you rush into a job interview or something, or you just rush into work, and it's like, I really should get on this elevator, but do you stop and check your inner spirit and be like, nah, I'm taking the next one?
I think
Dude, 6'9", 300 pounds. I'm this little female. I ain't getting on there by myself.
And I ain't a little female, but I'm
but
a female.
To 6'9",
yeah,
300 pounds,
like
you are.
I do check myself. I do check my surroundings. And guess what? If your intuition, it may not always be right, but when you feel something, you feel something.
Yeah.
Talk and this is another thing. I just wanted to throw this in there real fast. I don't know if you've seen this video. This is another thing we have to be aware of, the homeless population, because we know that in a lot of situations it's a mental health thing that's going on. Not making any excuses. There was a video where a white man was walking down the street. I want to say New York, but not sure. And it was a big black guy, homeless. You couldn't tell how big he was at first, laying on the ground. Man. He was Asian?
The man who put his jacket over him was an Asian man.
Oh, I thought he was white. Okay, yeah. He put his jacket over him. And I think he just kind of like he put his jacket over and then kind of like patted him. Whatever it was, he didn't just do it and keep going. And I think this is one of those well, he was Asian, but non-black frailty things where it's like you're just so unaware of society. Yes. And that man
grabbed him and beat the shit out of him.
And again, and he took his wallet, he dragged him a little bit. Yeah, and it was so sad because he was doing a good deed, but you just you have to be aware. You have to be aware. The
video had no sound, but it looked like he put his jacket over me. He was like, the fuck you doing? You don't want no motherfucking jacket on me. Come here.
Yes.
And he just grabbed him down, started beating him, punching him, kicking him.
The guy was on his knees. Yeah. The guy held on as long as he could.
Years old. He was a young guy.
Yeah.
Just homeless.
He was young. He was
young.
Big.
Yeah, he was tall.
When he got up and was running past the camera, he was big. I say that to say you really just have, because you could have a person in an elevator or walking down the street just in the same space as you, and you have to be aware. Whether white, black, whatever their nationality is, male or female, you have to be aware and protect yourself. And, not saying you got to be running from everybody you see that looks like they could be sketchy, but I'm not going to worry about hurting your feelings and not wanting to cross the street because, I don't want them to feel bad, over protecting myself. I'm going to cross the street every single time if I feel like something might not go right. We've seen videos of a homeless person just stab a person for no reason. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not putting my safety on the line so that you don't feel bad.
That's crazy though. Men don't have to walk around like, and I'm not saying y'all walk around in fear, but y'all walk around with that intuition. And that, like, okay, sketchy situation. And I've been in some situations where I might see, okay, this looked like some shit going on over here. I ain't trying to be involved in that. And deter the other way. But I don't know. I don't even know what it's called. But I guess intuition. I never had that sense of, like, let me protect myself from this one other person.
Right.
Like
but that kind of is your intuition in saying, the situation looks sketchy, but not in the sense of...
But it was multiple people. It was like, if I seen one person that looked sketchy, I would size them up and think, man, I can handle myself. I'm fine. If it was multiple people and it was like, okay, now... I might deter from the situation because I'm sizing it up and I'm seeing that the outcome ain't favorable for me.
Yeah, but I wonder, and I know men out there, if you're of smaller stature, you probably won't feel comfortable in answering this. But you're 6'4", you're a big man, so you would feel more dominant over most other men. But I wonder if that feeling is. What I'm saying is, I wonder if that's a male thing or is it because of your size and stature.
I would say both. Yeah, because you can be a male and be 5'3", and well, no, because there's a Napoleon complex. It's always the little ones.
And they feel like I wish you would.
Even when we had a little dog, he barked at big ones. So, yeah, that's a wrap. You got anything else?
Thank you for your support. We appreciate it. We got more coming. We got some new show formats, new show ideas coming to you. We just thank y'all for coming along for the ride.
Appreciate y'all. Act to the podcast. Go to act2thepodcast.com. Go to Spotify. Go to Facebook. Go to YouTube. Go to Instagram. Go to Breaker. Go to Google Podcasts. Go to Radio Public. Go to
Anchor.
Anchor.
You almost had them all.
See, I'm put them in alphabetical order now. So go to all those platforms and see our faces. We appreciate the support. Appreciate the love. Act to the podcast.
I do have one more thing. Like, share. You see some of our posts you like. Our Walt's Wisdom, our D's 2 cents. The co-hostess with the mostest notes to self. You see anything you like, anything that resonate, feel free to share to your story, share to your page. We appreciate it.
Like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Appreciate y'all support. Appreciate the love. Even when we see people when we out and about, they recognize International Walk co-hostess with the mostest. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate the love, the engagement. Thank you very much. Act to the podcast 54 signing off. If you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you should. Peace.